Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadojayam Udirayeng Nashtaprayeshu Abhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavadim Uttama Slokim Bhaktim Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 38, Akrura's arrival in Vrindavana. There are continuous many texts to be read. I will read it under translation, later you can display. Every sloka they written, repeat. Now I read 28 onwards for completion, then you can read it. Text 28 to 33. Tadarsha Krishnam Ramam cha Vraje ko Dokhanam Kadau Pita Nilambarattarau Sarat Ambrusheshanau Kishorau Syamala Visvedau Sriniketou Prakat Pujau Sumakau Sundaravarau Bala Tuvirata Vikramau Twajja Vajrangurusam Bajo Sais Signidair Angira Bir Vrajam Sobayandau Mahatmanau Sanukrosha Sumit Krishnau Udara Ruchira Krito Srakvino Vanamalino Punya Kandanu Liptanganau Snato Vrichabasasau Pradana Purushau Vadyau Jagattedu Jagatpadi Avaditrunau Jagatyarte Samsena Balakeshavau Tisho Itimira Rajan Kurvanau Prapaya Svaya Yada Naraha Marakata Sailo Raupyasa Kanakasidau. Translation. Akrura then saw Krishna and Balarama in the village of Braja going to milk the cows. Krishna wore yellow garments, Balarama blue, and their eyes resembled autumnal lotuses. One of those two mighty armed youths, the shelters of the goddess of fortune, had a dark blue complexion, and the other was white. With their fine featured faces, they were the most beautiful of all persons. As they walked with the gait of young elephants, glancing about with compassionate smiles, those two exalted personalities beautified the cow pasture with the impressions of their feet, which bore the mark of the flag, lightning bolt, elephant goad, and lotus. The two lords, whose pastimes are most magnanimous and attractive, were ornamented with jeweled necklaces and flower garlands, anointed with auspicious, fragrant substances, freshly bathed and dressed in spotless raiment. They were the perennial supreme personalities, the masters and original causes of the universe, who had for the welfare of the earth now descended in their distinct forms of Kesava and Balarama. O King Parishit, they resembled two gold bedecked mountains, one of emerald and the other of silver, as with their effulgence. They dispelled the sky's darkness in all directions. Text 34. Radha Turnam Avalpulutya Suakrura Sneha Bhigvala Prapata Saranopadanti Tandavat Ramakrishna Yo. Akrura, overwhelmed with affection, quickly jumped down from his chariot and fell at the feet of Krishna and Balarama like a rod. Text 35. Bhagavad Darshana Kalata Paspapariya Kulekshana Plakashitanka Ankankshitya Makyani Nasagan Nirpa. The joy of seeing the Supreme Lord flooded Akrura's eyes with tears and decorated his limbs with eruptions of ecstasy. He felt such eagerness that he could not speak to present himself, O king. Text 36. Bhagavam tam abhipretya radhanganikita panina parirepe abhyupakrishya prita prananda vatsala. Recognizing Akrura, Lord Krishna drew him close with his hand, which bear the sign of chariot wheel, and then embraced him. Krishna felt pleased, for he is always benignly disposed toward his surrendered devotees. Purport. According to the Acharyas, by extending his hand marked with the chariot wheel or chakra, Lord Krishna indicated his ability to kill Kamsa. Text 37-38. Sangasanasa pranandam ubakukya mahamana kirgitva panina pani anayat sanujo griham prishvi adasu agadam tasmai nivetya savarakshanam prakshalya vitivat padav madhu pargarkanam agarat. As Akrura stood with his head bowed, Lord Sankarsana grasped his joined hands, and then Balarama took him to his house in the company of Lord Krishna. After inquiring from Akrura whether his trip has been comfortable, Balarama offered him a first-class seat, bathed his feet in accordance with his injunction of scripture, and respectfully served him milk with honey. Text 39. Please, they can repeat. Text 39. Please kindly repeat. Nivetyagam saditaye samvahya srantam atrita annam bhagagunam metyam sartaya ubavaharayet vibhu. Translation and purport. The Almighty Lord Balarama presented Akrura with a gift of a cow, massaged his feet to relieve him of fatigue, and then with great respect and faith fed him suitably prepared food of various fine taste. Purport. According to Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Akrura went to Krishna's and Balarama's house on the 12th Luna day, on which one should not break a fast at night. However, Akrura dispensed with his formality because he was eager to receive food in the Lord's house. Somebody wants to repeat the slogan? Mother. Mataji's. Hare Krishna, continue remaining 4 slokas of this chapter, no purport, I will complete this. Text 40. Tasmai bhaktavate pritya Rama parama dharma vid mukhavasir kandamalyai param pritim vyadat puna. When Akrura had eaten to his satisfaction, Lord Balarama, the supreme knower of religious duties, offered him aromatic herbs for sweetening his mouth, along with the fragrances and flower garlands. Thus Akrura once again enjoyed the highest pleasure. Text 41. Pavracha satkritam nanda kadam sta niranukgrahe Kamsa jivadi dasarha saunabala ivalaya. Nanda Maharaja asked Akrura, O descendant of Dasaka, how are you? How are all of you maintaining yourself while that merciless Kamsa remains alive? You are just like sheep under the care of a butcher. Text 42. Yo avadit swasosostokan krosantya sutrupkala kimno svitat prajanam tvara kushalam vimrashat mahe. That cruel self-serving Kamsa murdered the infants of his own sister in her presence, even as he cried in anguish. So why should we even ask about the well-being of you, his subjects? Text 43. Ittam sunritaya vacha nandina susahajida akrura pariprashtena jahau atmau parisramam. Honored by Nanda Maharaja with these true and pleasing words of inquiry, Akrura forgot the fatigue of his journey. Thus in the chapter 33. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Sabule Samade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Teshadharne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Kadada Suvasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. First of all, I request the blessings and permission of all the devotees, senior devotees, to continue my lecture. Hare Krishna. This particular chapter is about Akrura. Most of the chapter now we read it. Akrura is a very special nature. He is a very special devotee of the Lord. Why is very special? You might have heard before this. The day Keshasura and Vyamagasura was killed, Kamsa got little panic. The same day they were killed. How to kill these Krishna and Balarama? They are killing all my people, also servants, all asuras. He doesn't know how to kill them. Therefore he thought another way. Okay, let me bring to Mathura, to my own domain. and can kill them. Then to call them to Madra, how to call them? Then he was thinking of Akrura. Send Akrura and call them for fighting. Then he called Akrura and told him, immediately you should go and bring Krishna and Balarama. Actually, Akrura the next day, he knows what purpose he is calling. Akrura is a devotee of Lord. Now, Kamsa is sending Akrura to get Krishna and Balarama to be killed by him. How a devotee can accept all these things? Akrura, if it's a devotee, he should deny. Oh, I won't go to bring Krishna and Balarama. But these devotees' natures are very special, no? We don't know. Akrura accepted. Certainly he should not accept. It's particularly for harming the Lord. Kamsa wants Akrura to bring them, both the Lords, Krishna and Balarama. He should have immediately denied. He knows the intention also. He should have denied, but he didn't deny. He accepted. That is what called special nature of the devotee. Why he accepted? Because he thought it's a chance for meeting Lord and have his association. Another point that Acharya explains also, Akrura knows he is more powerful. He will not become victim of these Kamsa's tricks. He has more confidence. Therefore, he accepted this Kamsa's order to bring these two, Krishna and Balaram, to Mathura. Sometimes devotee's nature, we cannot understand, looks more against the devotion, but they do it. We can see similar nature with Bhishma and Drona. They are all wonderful devotees of Lord. But in the war, they took the side which is not favorable to Krishna, Duryodhana's side. They know very well that Krishna is fighting against Duryodhana and Duryodhana is wrong. This is another nature because they took it as Lord's will. Sometimes the devotees, they take these opportunities some or other way, yena kena dena, to serve the Lord. In positive mood or negative mood or anything, everything is same to Lord in absolute platform. In relative platform, we find a lot of differences. But in absolute platform, we all take it. Lord takes it in a perfect devotional things. So many such incidents are quoted in with ignorance, with negative, with anything. We remember in the Tamil month, one other thing is, one other story in one Purana I forgot. The rat was going the night to Lord's temple and the wick was choked with ghee. And because of nice ghee, it wants to eat. It tries to eat. In the process, it got the fire on his body. Then because of fire, it got panic and jumped around the temple. Lord took it as a circumambulation with lamp and awarded him the things. Therefore, Lord's mood is absolute mood. Whether Akrura is coming for with knowledge that is Kamsa is calling to harm him, he doesn't bother. Comes Akrura because he tells in the prayer also, God, as a Paramatma sitting in everyone's heart, he knows my heart. What for I am coming to pick up him? I am coming to Vrindavan to pick up the Lord to have his association. It's not a good mood or good position I am going to do, because I am taking a very pitiable things. And in particular, Akrura, many went to Vrindavan, all Vrajavasis, they started crying. Because when they come to know he is going to take Krishna and Krishna is going to be separated from them, they underwent deep pain and sorrow. This is another way Akrura knows also this. Because Vrajavasis are so attached to Krishna and particular Gopiyas and Kopas. And how can he separate Krishna from them? And in particular, in Gopiyas, they were very much crying and all those things for Krishna to leave. But without bothering, he reached first day, next day morning, he took Krishna and Balaram and went. This is, Krishna was able to take it an absolute platform when Akrura came to take him to Madura at the instruction of Kamsa to harm Krishna. But other way, the Gopiyas are superior devotees. And they are affected, and Jiva Goswami is telling in his purport, because Akrura didn't console these Vrajavasis and Gopis when they are crying, without even bothering, he took them out. That is not acceptable. In particular, when devotees, somebody is affected, we are supposed to take care of them. It may be mind level, word level, or action level. Otherwise, it will affect all our devotion. And Akrura, they are telling, Gopis are telling, your Akrura means Akrura, no Kurura, but you are full of Kurura. You are separating Krishna from us. They become mad. They left all the shy and started Govinda crying. He didn't bother to console them. Such a way, a devotee should. Krishna is able to take it an absolute platform when Akrura came to take him and understood. But when devotees are affected, okay, he is doing the duty, but still you should be able to console and convince other devotees not to do all these things. And convince them, some others are affected. Even if you come to know they are mentally affected, you should help them. You should console them. That is the biggest lesson this Akrura history tells. Because Akrura later, he was separated from Krishna in the case of Syamantaka Zol. Because he and Kritavarma, both of them have to live in Varanasi, separated from Krishna. And at that time, Acharyas again tell, this is they didn't convince. Kritavarma was Bhoja dynasty, he was having association with the Kamsa. Therefore, Kritavarma was communicating with the Kamsa. That was the offense in his side for getting separated from Krishna. But Akrura offense is, he didn't convince and satisfy or console the Gopis when they took it. Therefore, sometimes we devotees, we are supposed to do some service which will affect other devotees. But what best, you should console them, convince them as a compassionate way, not passionate way. Most of the time we are dealing in the passionate way, not passionate, compassionate way. Devotion is more a compassion. And console them, convince them, and all those things, problem will be sorted out. This is the lesson Acharyas are telling. When you are trying to do some service which may affect Krishna, doesn't matter, but it may affect devotees, you should be careful. They are not supposed to be affected, and they feel something. You are supposed to console them and convince them, give them some comfort, give them. And without that, you cannot do. And you should be very careful when you are doing something, somebody is affected. I remember in the same Juhu only some 10-15 years back, I think, some meeting was the Bira meeting or something. One senior devotee, very senior devotee, we are all supposed to go for meeting earlier after this. That time Charnamrita will be given separately 9 o'clock or something outside that something, then sweet also something. Then Charnamrita was given. Everybody was standing in the queue and taken. This Prabhu also was standing in the queue. And the volunteers who were helping for the meeting, they told Prabhu, it is time for meeting. You come front and take it. But he didn't agree. How can I offend all these devotees? They are waiting, standing in the queue. How can I bypass and take it? Then finally, they forced him. Then I practically saw you are doing, everybody is like this, and went and took in the front. So that they should not feel offended. And it is a very subtle level. Sometimes, we are standing in the queue, this person just bypassing and taking. He had that sensation. And he doesn't want anybody. This is the nature of the cultured devotees who take the care of their mind and body also. Not only body offense, mind offense also. And their thoughts also they can understand. Not because of that, they become, on their own, they become simple. To avoid all other way of getting things. Now Akrura neglected that. And Gopis are very much crying these things. He went like, oh, I am a big boss, like that he took out. He is doing the devotional service, not devotion. But Krishna took it. When he came to Krishna, he knows he is doing wrong. He is taking Krishna is wrong. It's not a positive way of devotion. But Krishna accepted that. Okay, absolute platform. But when devotees are affected, he was taken the feedback or reaction. He has to be separated from Krishna in the Shamandaka's whole incident. Therefore, Akrura is very special in the sense he was doing negative things like Bhishma was fighting against Krishna. Drona is fighting against Krishna. And Akrura also came as a service to, because he knows his association for Krishna, he came and Krishna is all powerful. But when it come to the platform of devotees, it was not accepted. And that devotees are very, very soft. And it's not that devotees should be offended, because they are crying for Krishna. They are also in the devotion, so they are superior devotees. Means not by position or something, because somebody's big position, they are not superior. Their level of devotion is different. They were not in any big position. That's why the devotion thing is Raja Kukya. We cannot understand. Because this Kamsa, Akrura, everybody is in big position. But these copies are nothing in the position. But they are superior devotees. Therefore, even somebody is very big position, but they should humble down before the other devotees. That is the nature of the devotees. And as a result, a devotee has to be very sensitive about that. Even mind level things or other things, somebody should not be affected. And also, when devotees, how much you are able to satisfy, how much, sometimes in devotional service or managerial service, we got to do some service which affects the other devotees. You try to do one side justice, other side there may be affected with your or without your knowledge. And if it is without a knowledge, it's Krishna's arrangement, helpless. But if it comes to your knowledge, somebody is affected, both are devotional service. He is also doing devotional, X also doing devotional service, Y also doing devotional service. When you are doing some judgment or some service for X, Y will be affected. Then you are supposed to understand the situation and under the devotional platform, under the devotional compassion, you should be able to console or compassion that particular devotee who is getting affected. Otherwise, it will affect our devotion. As like Akrura is separated from Krishna sometime, our devotion also will be affected. Devotion affected means our thought, our mind, our things will be separated from Krishna. This we need to take into such a fine things. If we don't take into consideration, we will be very immature devotion. We are not going to, how our devotion is getting affected, we don't know. And Akrura is a wonderful devotee. He is associated of Krishna's name, Adukula and all those things. Why he is getting affected? And you know the Shankhadhari, both of them took and went. And Krishna has to fight for that 2 times to prove he is innocent. He was blamed. He has stolen the Shankhadhari. 2 times once Prasena, that Satyajit brother took to the forest, and there in the forest the lion killed him, and that lion was killed by Jambavan. Then this Shankhadhari was taken by and Jambavan, and he gave it to his son, and it became a play for that boy. But in the city, they all complained that Krishna wanted to take it. Therefore, Krishna killed Prasena, and then Krishna has to follow the path where Prasena went, Satyajit's brother, and traced him, and found it, and brought back, and sold, and then Satyajit gave Satyabhama, his daughter, to marriage, and Samadagajol, both to Krishna. But he took Satyabhama, but he returned the Samadagajol. I don't want it. It's a big cause of problem. Then second time, this Akrura and this Kritavarma, they have to take it and go and all those things. All this incident, then Krishna again has to go and bring them, beg them, because the whole Krishna also subject to all these difficulties. And whole city, Dwaraka, they blamed because Akrura left the Dwaraka, lot of bad omens came, lot of rains and all. They started telling because Akrura went. Akrura went because this Krishna and all those things. Then Krishna has to again go to, they went to Varanasi. He went to Varanasi and took them and bring back and asked the Akrura, please you go to the soul. Once he saw, then it's enough. Then took, this is with him. Syamadagajoli is not missing, he said, and gave back and sent it. Therefore, this imagine, Krishna as a normal person, he has to take care of all these blasphemy. Then what to talk about us? We cannot tell, I am devotee, I don't bother about all these things. Krishna bothers about all the blasphemy. He wanted to clear his name. Similarly, that one side Akrura, then Akrura, and we also should take care. Krishna set example, Akrura set example, Akrura life is example. And we have to be very careful in the community of devotees. We can advance faster the moment we all get the blessings of them. The community of devotees, we can lose all the bit of devotion also if we neglect that. That is again Rajakukya. That's why when I tell, why Krishna tell Rajakukya and all. What is the secret? It's a secret. In the community, we want association, yes. We tell sadhusanga and all. We want association. But the association we can advance, we can fall down also quicker. How? When you are advancing, when you respect every Vaishnava, everything, even such a level, somebody is getting affected, you should, because of obligation, Akrura is doing the job, taking Krishna to Madura against the feeling of all the Vijavasis. But he has to console and give them comfort, that he missed it. Now you are doing some job which affects some Vaishnavas, you are obligated to do some service. In the service, other Vaishnavas are going to be affected. At least you should, with a compassion mode, you should console, convince them. This is a whole lesson and secret of devotion service we can learn from the history of Akrura. And we need to take care so that these all prana and all these Bhagavad prana and all these incidents, we cannot take it like a story. We have to take instruction from every devotee, every incident, then it's meant for that, not for simply reading and only top level you go, you don't understand all these things. When you get the feel what they are doing and all those things, how their things affected the Acharya, they relate. How Akrura is affected, how he was separated. We don't want to be separated from Krishna, and we have to be careful not to do anything Akrura. Because Akrura did because of obligation. Because Kamsa is the king, he ordered. But when he doing that, devotees are affected. Some senior, superior devotees, convince them, console them, that he missed it. Therefore, in our devotional service also, anytime when you happen to do some service which will affect some set of devotees, you are able to console them and or give them justification, convince them and all those things. This is a very important matter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for analyzing the pastime very nicely. Here, Vishwanath Thakur says that he fasted on Ekadasi and then he discussed Krishna's pastimes whole night and then he started on Dwadasi. I always wonder, it is just 20 kilometers or 15 kilometers from Mathura to Vrindavan. How come it took him?
How come?
How come it took him whole day that he reached in the evening? Any explanation given by any Acharya?
Maybe Akrura Acharya didn't tell, but how Bhagavad Gita was told in 40 minutes or 30 minutes, he can shorten the things, he can lengthen the things also. Maybe we don't know the past time because so many devotees on the way, maybe his thought and other things. He was wholly thinking, you see, when he was traveling to Vrindavan, he was not rushing. He was thinking all Krishna and Balarama, I'll see them, I see their lotus face, I'll beg them and I'll pray them. And like that, so many samples are given when he was visiting Akrura. Therefore, he might have got merged in this type of transcendental thoughts of Krishna. Sometimes you are sitting and chanting one round, if you are a little drowsy, you will be chanting for 20 minutes. Sometimes you are fresh, we'll chant in 5-6 minutes. Same thing. We are in the material platform, therefore we are drowsy. But Akrura might have been transcendental platform. Therefore, when he's traveling, he might have got into the ecstasy of thinking Krishna. He might have lost the time track. Maybe that's what it's my.
I heard during Prabhupada's time, there was no Vaishnava calendar or anything. There was nothing like, duration of the fast break on Dwadasi, like we announced nowadays. They used to break the fast after the sunrise. After some time, maybe this Vaishnava calendar and then fast breaking time and all. Here, he didn't even break the fast, Akrura, on Dwadasi. So he broke in the night time. So Vishwanath Thakur says that it is an offense to break the fast during night time on Dwadasi. But because Krishna and Balarama are serving, so
like you go to Jagannath Puri, I used to go many years Ramanavami day in Jagannath Puri. They never allowed me to fast. There is no fasting in Jagannath Puri. You take it, Jagannath Prasad is beyond fasting. They put it in the banda, they put it in the mouth. That Prasad, and they never allow, if you fast, it is offense, they are telling. In Jagannath Prasad, when it's given in the temple, you don't take it, it's offense. I remember similarly, one of our devotee, he is fasting 12-13 years, this Anukalpa Prasada. But he is exceptional with the Jagannath Prasad. He takes Jagannath Prasad. The devotional platform is exceptional. It's like more a Bhavagrahi. Krishna looks our Baba, not for tongue taste or something we are taking. We are taking out of love for Krishna and it's a prasadam, that Jagannath prasadam is something we take. That is why otherwise, whatever prasadam we take, many are having problem. Like sugar added, this added, but if your mood is, it is Krishna's prasadam, you accept it. That similarly, that Twadasi breaking and all those things, our Parayana time, lot of confusion the Parayana time. Sometimes it come in 1 minute. How to break it in 1 minute? It's just like that. 1.5 minute and all breaking Parayana time will be there. And it is more, I can tell it's a westernized mode. And like normally in other Sampradayas, Vaishnava Sampradayas, they keep one center, that mud head, that thing will be adapted all over the place. And similarly, here they localized everything, and because of that, the Parayana timing is coming. But in essence, the fasting of Ekadashi is to remember Lord and serve the Lord and engage in Lord service, both the mind, word, and deeds. If it is done, these are all secondary futures. Primary future is you should do. You may be Niyamagrahi. Very pakka you can do. Just 1 minute. Keep the watch ready. Right. Break. Perfect. But you missed all other aspects. What is the use of this Ekadashi? Fasting. That's why it's exceptional. Devotees, thing is, your body's main is devotional service. And thinking of Lord. Chanting. And that's why sometimes you remember Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, Ekadashi devotees were nirjal, those days Gaudiya Math. Everybody was fasting. But they were lying down, they cannot even chant. Then he told, make nice prasad, Ekadashi prasad, fed them, go. Now do devotional service. The ultimate purpose is your fasting should help for serving Lord by mind, word, deeds. And my fasting is making me so drowsy, I cannot do anything thinking of Lord or serving a Lord. What is the benefit? Simply it's become ritual. Therefore, one should not make ritual of the things. One should understand the idea behind it. Depends on the body, condition, nature. Some prasadam, Akadashi you take it and engage yourself. You should not be greedy. It should be just to maintain the body. Just the body is to be maintained to just serve the Lord. With that mode, if you take it, that is different. Therefore, we cannot bring everything under single umbrella. This is the rule. It depends on the time, place, circumstance, and Baba, everything. Thank you.
Like as a head pujari, I have to make sure that the arti is done on time, temple altar is kept clean, bhoga is offered on time. Suppose if some devotees they are not coming on time, either I have to tell them very harsh, in a stern tone, or chastise them. Then they feel bad, and they feel hurt and all that. So if I have to take care of their emotions, then
you go to one side, take care of the devotional obligation, keeping altar, keeping timing, everything. Other side, when you are telling something, they are feeling the same problem. What is the ultimately thing is, you fully in devotional mode with the compassion tell. I remember, the thing is, one of the thing is, when I was doing my college, one of my lecturer asked to tell, normally students talks in the class. He tells, don't talk, he never tell. Can you reduce your talk little? Similarly, in the school when I was doing, normally, so those days that normal phone, you take the phone, who is speaking? That is like a beating on the face. Who is speaking? The way, may I know who is speaking? It makes a lot of difference. You attend the phone, who is speaking is different from, may I know who is speaking? Similarly, when you call the devotee, Prabhu, you are doing a wonderful service, excellent service. You have taken this whole thing's life for the serving the Lord. And so many devotees are waiting outside. And we are obligated to maintain the timing. And they all feel offended. 7:15 Darshanarthi means 1 minute late also. Why late? Everybody, anxiety will increase. So their pulse will increase. To avoid that, we can be on time, just in a gentle and polite way, keeping Krishna at the center of your thought and other things, without any offense in your mind, without any personal ego in your mind, without with the only consideration of welfare of the person whom that other devotee who is doing service, then it will be successful. You should keep in mind not your ego is in place. You should keep in your mind that you are doing for the welfare of the devotee and others. And third, you keep Krishna in the center. Then it will be successful. It's a great technique you go to learn. Every management thinks this type of communication is one example. Everywhere it comes. But these 3 points you keep in mind. At least most of the time I am little successful. Sometimes even this will fail. Somebody will, but still we have to take forgiveness. This is the situation. We have to run that. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the nice class. I had two questions. First question already got answered by Ramaru Prabhu's question. Other question is that as you mentioned, the bhava is more important. Without that, if we do, it becomes ritual. So there are several aspects which we do in a day-to-day devotional service, like attending Mangalarti, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class. Then Prabhupada said, at least 1 hour read my book every day. So sometimes that bhava does not come, and often we hear from others that I want to do it from heart, not as a ritual. So sometimes they don't read. We also feel like today I'm not feeling like reading, but I'm still doing it. So how much this, because if you think of bhava only, it becomes...
No, Prabhupada, same thing he continued. You do as a ritual, and as a process that bhava will come. Because we are not in a purified state. Our mind is so much disturbance is there. Anathas are there. We are not getting that real taste or bhava. But by continuing this process, you will get it. Not by independent it comes, but persistence, continuous effort by chanting, sadhana. After sadhana bhakti only other bhaktis are coming. We are sadhana bhakti, but even advanced devotees, they are also following sadhana for the sake of guiding others. But we are not in the level, therefore we may not get the taste for reading, we may not get such a thing, but in the following this sadhana bhakti, one gets the taste of bhakti, that other bhakti. Therefore, you should not give it up in all the stage, in the beginning stage also, in the advanced stage also. Both it continues. Because a devotee always thinks I am fallen. Therefore, you should follow these things. Otherwise, sometimes we cannot artificially bring Baba. That means sometime we may become Sahajya. Artificially we try to get Baba, we may become Sahajya. Therefore, always keep sadhana bhakti. It should be spontaneous. Your mind should be very blissful, peaceful, and other thoughts are getting eroded. Then you will be comfortable. It comes automatic, spontaneous. Don't push it. Your job is just to think of Lord and surrender to Lord, how to serve Him, how to be humble, how to do and all these things. Bhakti Vinod Thakur in one place is telling this only prayer of the devotee is not asking anything. If you want to ask something worse, keep me eternally in your devotion. That can be the only prayer. Eternally in his devotion service. Because that is the most dangerous part of our life. The moment we are left, we are kept separated from devotion service, then all our good thing goes. Therefore, his only prayer should be, some or other way, keep me in your devotion service. That should be. Thank you. 2 questions, one here, one here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this nice explanation. That now over the period of time, we have done due to immaturity, we have done some offenses to devotees while pleasing Krishna or seniors. We have bypassed our junior devotees or did some offended.
Little
one
closer.
To one devotee or many devotee we have offended likewise. So now we are feeling the heat of that offenses. So now what is the remedy, Prabhuji? Is how
Only
to
thing is, so the Shastra tells if you know you have offended somebody and you feel somebody is offended, go and request them, beg them, convince them to get out of that offense. And some or other way, you need to convince them. At least even if they took it immediately, they are so much affected. One day they will realize, okay, this devotee came under this, and so in your action also, so that you become you humble and other thing. That is the way. And the only thing is, you see that it is a lesson. It should not be repeated. Like that, for your personal lesson, for others now to get change your thoughts on you, you have to request them, beg them, and convince them, and talk to them, and serve them in a very humble mood. Not that forcibly catch the leg and that is not the thing. Their heart also should change by your behavior. By if it is again from your heart, it will change in no time. If it is only rituals, formality, somebody tells you, you did offend God, oh, sorry Prabhu. Just like a straight, sorry Prabhu. It's not that your mood should be revealed to him by your proper mood when you approach him and tell him. With heart really affected and you understood you did really offense, in a humble mood you go and approach. It will work out. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
just addition to you, just one more question. But this will happen when we realize who are the devotees get offended by us. But if there are many devotees that we don't realize only who got offended, then how
Okay,
to,
that also has some problem, but you don't know they are offended. But you can always pray in general. They say Vanja Kalpatarpya daily we tell. How many are really we are doing Vanja Kalpatarpya? When you are doing that, how much we are begging all the Vaishnavas. That's how one common way we are all begging all the Vaishnavas to forgive all our offenses. With or without our knowledge, you have done it. That's a simple way. Other things you change your things because Krishna is all powerful. He can one day you'll make the other side also to understand and you are changing. That's why many times the devotee tells, he was like that, he was like that, he was like that. And when was it? Some 10, 15 years back, 20 years back. Does he now also like that? No. You should understand the devotees are changing. Not that the same devotee 20 years back, some rough and tough, very strange behavior, not that same devotees today. Today he might have changed. Why don't you go and see what is he today? Similarly, the thoughts will give every devotee in interaction. I found like a material world is some small blunder, some mistakes or some, they take it whole life as enemy. We devotees also we are doing like that sometimes. We did sometimes bad like that, and therefore I am not talking to him. I am not. He is like that only. He is like no. Devotee changes, evolving. In devotional platform, everybody is evolving. Everybody is, we including us, we are changing. We should understand it. How much I am changing. Similarly, that mood, if you develop, everybody will understand over a period of time. This will make the whole devotional platform susukam. And we understand devotees are changing because sadhureva mandavya. Why Krishna is telling like that? They are sadhu. Therefore, they will change. They will understand. And Krishna will make them to understand. When he change, Krishna will make them to understand. Thank you.
मेरा सवाल है कि काशी जो है वो इस धरती का हिस्सा नहीं है, बल्कि शिव जी के त्रिशूल के ऊपर उसका स्थान है। तो जब मैं मुंबई से ट्रेन पकड़ता हूँ तो मैं ट्रेन द्वारा तो काशी पहुंच जाता हूँ, तो मैं किस प्रकार एहसास कर सकता हूँ कि जो काशी है वो शिव जी के त्रिशूल के ऊपर है? कृपा करके मार्गदर्शन करें।
Somebody translate, can you? English. Even I cannot also realize. I don't know. I am also in the same. I cannot.
One more question.
Yes.
जो हमारे हृदय में परमात्मा रूप में हाँ, हमारे हृदय में जो परमात्मा रूप में शिरोदक्षाई विष्णु है, क्या वो कृष्ण के अवतार के भी अवतार है? क्या वो नारायण के अवतार है?
Actually, it's Karbodakasha Karnagada Vishnu, Karbodakasha Vishnu, Srodakasha Vishnu. Srodakasha Vishnu called Paramatma. That Vishnu level comes in the fourth level of Krishna's expansion. If you take Chaitanya Charitamrita, very neatly Mahaprabhu has explained to Sanatana Goswami how first level, second level, third level. First level is Krishna and that Sadurvika. First Sadurvika, then second Sadurvika. From second Sadurvika, from Balram it comes. It's like a big process. Please kindly go through. I don't remember exactly the sequence. It's the third or fourth level. The Vishnu comes. Karnakada Vishnu. From him, then Karbodakasha Vishnu. When he expands in his breathing, so many Prabhanjas are coming out. Every planet and Prabhanja is with Karbodakasha Vishnu. Because of his support, they are floating in the things. And from the Karbodakasha Vishnu, again that Brahma comes out. Sorry, that Shirodakasha Vishnu, when Brahma creates all individual entities, the Amsa or expansion of Lord, a Shirodakasha Vishnu sits in the every Jiva's heart. That is why the expansion procedure is very nicely explained. You need to take the Chaitanya Charitamrita and read it. And
I read it the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I can't understand that.
take some devotee's help.
That's
Take
okay.
some
Okay.
devotee's help.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Heartfelt thanks for you for nice Vaishnava etiquettes, this thing. So, in this connection, I understand that Vaishnava relationships are very, very sensitive. But when I remember this case of Bharat Maharaj, he focused so much on loving relationships in the deer, but he lost his sadhana bhakti itself. So, what is the balance we should take?
Now, Bhatta Maharaj even went to the extent of seeing the Lord and Darshan, took the Darshan of the Lord. But after that, he again got the compassion, material compassion on the deer. And because of that, he has to get out of that thoughts because his thought changed. This is like sometimes Lord gives some example for future generation through his devotees. Maybe Jadabat, we follow that, we should not get into material compassion. Maybe that may be the lesson. And how he came out. Next birth, he born as a deer, but he never bothered to think he was like a renounced deer, never associated with anybody, anything material. Even third birth, Jada birth, he was behaving like a deaf and dumb. So that we all get lessons. If you want to be spiritually advanced, you become materially deaf, materially dumb. Now listen here, materially deaf, materially dumb, not spiritually. Spiritually you should be more active. Same way, we can understand sometimes Lord gives all these leelas for particularly for future. For example, Arjuna, such a permanent associate of Lord, why you should get doubt in the wartime? All Acharya tells it is to way the Gita should come out. Maybe such things, but Jadabharta things is advanced devotee naturally. But certainly at the same time, we can take lessons from every devotee's history and life according to our maturity. And we cannot decide everything. For example, somebody like Vishwanath Chakravarti comment, you see, he never blaspheme any devotees. Everything will justify. Devotee said he never make any things. When you read Vishwanath Chakravarti commentary, any place, he never have any chance of any devotee should be blasphemed. He justify everything. And some other devotees, they may take a personal lessons. Like Jadabad case itself, different way you can take. Like if you take little lower level, you can tell because one should not get this type of compassion. Then lot of question comes. That means some souls are suffering. We cannot help them or something like that. So many deviated questions. And another question is, the Lord is instructing, giving instruction to us. Then third is, you can take even Jadabad out of his experience in future births, how he lived. Why not I take instruction from that? Because in this life itself, because of my association, I have fallen so much, my mind is deviated, my mind is difficult. Why don't you follow that deaf and dumbness in this material deaf and material dumb in this life? Somebody, you travel, train, bus, everywhere outside world, and you need to associate the material, how you learn to be materially deaf and materially dumb. And somebody spiritually, like Raghugana, when he was asking questions, Jadabha, the first time opening mouth, what a instruction he gives. He's not deaf, dumb. He talks, but he spiritually talks. But materially, his father is giving Gayatri, he doesn't bother. Materially, he took it as Gayatri Mantra also material. He didn't bother. He became like a deaf. Therefore, take instruction. In outside world, when you are moving, you in the material things would comes, you become a deaf and dumb, don't care. It's called a don't care condition, Boolean logic. Don't care. You are indifferent to all these things. You should not hate it. Learn, understand. You should be indifferent. Because everything you consider material, then you will fall down. Because this, we are also materially, you think somebody showed mercy, we become devotee. Therefore, you should not hate anything, but you should learn to be indifferent. Jadabhada is indifferent. He was indifferent to all the activities. And he didn't hate it. Then Raghuna asked the question, he became more on detail, he was explaining. It's a big topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for being indifferent. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. You said that devotee should be compassionate, not passionate. My question is that means many Matajis are facing this that they are by forcefully they are coming to temple and they are doing their work, means cooking and all what formalities, but actually they are making adjust to their family. So they are not means they are passionate to come here, but they are not compassionate, means they are wrong.
No, they are getting with the family, attached to families, so you can always convert it into compassion. For example, naturally, some Mataji has family, children and husband, they should take care of them. But you should take care spiritually. That's a technique. We devotional service, we always take everything positive way. And we skip material, spiritual touch and take care only material touch. Then it becomes passion. And if we take the same passion way, take care of children, family and other things with a spiritual touch, give prasadam, give them stories. Children want to hear stories, tell nice stories, Bhagavatam and other things. They want nice prasadam, food, give nice prasadam. And that way, you should be able to convert your material passionate feelings into spiritual compassionate feelings. This is the art one should learn by Krishna's mercy. And we are not hating, we are not neglecting, we are not avoiding. That is not our philosophy or principle. Every jiva is spiritual. Therefore, Prabhupada tells everything, we are not preaching anybody. Everybody is by nature, they are spiritual. they are in dormant stage, sleeping stage. Our job is to wake up. It may be my relatives, my children, my father, my parents, and my husband, or anybody. At the same time, I got to be able to invoke their spiritual consciousness by my spiritual activities. Even if you cannot do give prasadam, even if you cannot do negative, sorry, if you cannot do positive, at least don't do negative. Don't sow hatred. Something, some are very rigid, they don't accept. At least don't hate them. One day they may change. If you hate, they will never change. If you are tolerate, Karnat Abhisunishana, Taror Abhisaisuna, and continue your devotion, the day will come, they will accept it. I have seen after 30 years and all my relatives have accepted Krishna consciousness. They have to wait 30 years, not 1 or 2 years. They will take time, but your tolerance or patience, your thing, Krishna will make it. Hare Krishna.
One more question, Prabhuji. You said that we should perform, means we are not spontaneous, means spontaneous bhakti we don't have. So we have to do sadhana bhakti. I agree with this, but sadhana bhakti can also be performed by doing pranam to Shad Goswamis. We are taking blessings of them, Prabhupada's blessings, and after that only Panchatattva blessings, and after we are doing jap. That all only can sufficient. Why we have to do Mangalarti, Gaur Arti means I must have to learn that why it is necessary.
No, it cannot be so rigidly defined for everybody. Depends on Bhavagrahi. I told Lord is Bhavagrahi. Your condition, your health, your situation, and everything depends on. But your mind is very important. Your Bhava, what mood you are doing is very important. Yeah, but all the times, this Bhava Bhakti or something comes spontaneous. We cannot do, I think, but initially, unless we get purified sufficient enough, that Bhava will not appear. Therefore, the sadhana bhakti helps us to be getting purified. And the Bhava Bhakti is natural. That's why that who is telling Sandhya Vandana, Namaskara, everything it tells, no? That is very advanced stage. It doesn't bother about Sandhya Vandana, all rituals, everything. Therefore, it's a very spontaneous advanced stage. We are not thinking of that. First, Bhava is our love for Krishna. And that Krishna love starts from all Vaishnavas, all Parambara, Panchatattva, Guru Parambara, Sadgoswami, everybody is blessing us. Therefore, we beg and each and everybody to give bless us to get that Bhava. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Viru.
Thank you. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srimad Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare.